And I actually try and tell people across the country that Oregon is an incredibly useful case study for the rest of the nation. Because the thing that's unique about Oregon is Oregon was bold enough to write it down. That's it. I have not been great at selling that because a lot of times folks are like, but what do we care about the Midwest? I actually had someone say that to me when I was like, you should study Oregon's history. They're like, the Midwest though? I'm like, oh.
I did not know or remember that Oregon actually elected a member of the KKK, an active member, as governor.
Right. Absolutely. So, Oregon, I think that Klan is a really useful, also a useful case study for America. America likes to tell a lot of racist myths, and the Klan often sits at the heart of many of these. So the myth that the United States tells about the Ku Klux Klan is that the Klan was a fringe organization made up of Southern, working class, not formally educated white men that died out in the 70s, right? None of those things are true. The Klan sat at the heart of the United States on every level. And so and again, Oregon becomes a useful case study for that. So the Ku Klux Klan at its height nationally had 15% of eligible Americans, 15%. And eligible Americans meant white men because that's all they wanted, right? So 15% nationally of white men were card-carrying members of the Ku Klux Klan at its height, which is an astronomically high number. You would be hard-pressed to find an organization, right, the Humane Society, for who doesn't like cats and dogs? They don't want those kind of numbers, but the Klan did, right? Also, Oregon had the highest per capita Klan membership in the country. So again, this was about Oregon sending a very clear message about what kind of place it wanted to be. The Klan didn't just have numbers, they reached into the highest echelons of power. And so this picture, which ran in the Oregon Journal in the early 1920s, shows hooded Klansmen posing with the leaders of the city of Portland, right? The police chief, the district attorney, the U.S. attorney, the Multnomah County sheriff, and the Portland mayor posed with hooded Klansmen under the title saying that they were taking guidance from the Klan about what the Klan wanted to see happen in Portland. So this was not just something that reached into Portland, it reached into the state, as was said, right? So Walter Pierce was elected in 1923, was running in 1922 to be governor, and was a member of the Klan, and worked with the Klan to pass state legislation. One big one that folks talk about a lot is the Compulsory Education Act, which was about getting access to all white school-age children in Oregon and attacking institutions like private schools. But they also passed literacy tests for voting, which we often think of as a tool of racist oppression in the South. We had them in Oregon, thanks to Walter Pierce and the Ku Klux Klan, right?
I thought it was interesting.
I just have one more thing I want to, one more. This is going to tie it all together. But this is the part that I think shows that Oregon is a useful case study for the rest of the nation. Because we have, as president around this time, Woodrow Wilson. Woodrow Wilson was rabidly pro-Klan. He wrote a pro-Klan history book that was the basis for the novel The Klansman, which was the basis for the film Birth of a Nation. Birth of a Nation is perhaps the most virulently racist film that has ever been created in the history of cinema. It portrays black people as nothing more than animals that need to be kept in check, and it glorifies the rise of the Ku Klux Klan. Birth of a Nation was also the first film that screened in the White House. Woodrow Wilson would show Birth of a Nation to visiting dignitaries as if it were a documentary and say, black people are trying to cry on the international stage about how we treat them. This is why we treat them like that. So it's important to note, again, the Klan was not a fringe organization. The Klan sat at the heart of the United States. its politics, its ideologies, its principles were not at war with the American ideology. It was deeply intertwined and beneficial to one another. And we can see that on the city level, the state level, and the national level.
Yes, that's what I wanted to say.
Thank you. I was interested to see about the eugenics program touring in the 1930s.
Repeat the question.
Sure. So was interested to see about the eugenics program that was touring in the 1930s in Oregon. So there was an exhibit that received overwhelming praise, both from the media as well as everyday people. 1 in 20 Oregonians went and saw it. And the title is Eugenics in New Germany. In 1935, New Germany is Nazi Germany. And so this was about eugenics, about murdering and sterilizing unfit citizens to breed the best possible race. Oregon loved it, individually and in the media. The Oregon Journal said, taking a tip from Nazi Germany. That was the introduction to the story, which don't ever take a tip from Nazi Germany. But again, it's important to note, I think that Oregon in general, and especially Portland, portrays itself as sort of this, liberal utopia. But these are the foundations of this place that we are. And we can't begin to understand this place without understanding this. I have people come and visit me all the time, and they're like, I had no idea Portland was so white, but it's supposed to be so great here. And I'm like, these are tied together, right? We cannot have the Portland that markets itself as this white liberal playground without this white supremacist, racist foundation. They are intertwined together, and they are inextricable.